That sounds fun. That sounds fun.
Hi, friends. Welcome to a very special episode of That Sounds Fun. I'm your host, Annie F. Downs. I am so happy to be here with you today. Before we dive into today's conversation, I want to tell you about one of our incredible sponsors. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. I know asking what you're thankful for this month can almost become cliche, but it actually matters. Take some time to stop and think about it. What are you grateful for this year? Who are you grateful for this year? Who's helped you or had a big impact in your life? It might be your therapist. That's someone I'm really thankful for in my life. Or what have you grown in this last year that you're thankful for? If you're still on the fence about therapy, now would be a great time to give BetterHelp a try, especially in the midst of the holidays. It's done entirely online, so it's super convenient and flexible to your schedule. And getting started is so easy. You just fill out a quick questionnaire. Y'all know we love a quiz. And you'll be matched with a licensed therapist. Plus, you can switch therapists anytime at no extra cost, so you make sure to find the right match for you. Let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/thatsoundsfun today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/thatsoundsfun. Today on the show, y'all, this is a fun one. Y'all know we love talking Christmas movies. We got a couple of episodes coming for you this holiday season, but today we start with some of the cast of Great American Families, A Little Women's Christmas. You are in for a treat. Yes, A Little Women's Christmas is exactly what you hope it'll be. It's a contemporary retelling of the beloved classic novel, and it follows the lives and loves of the March sisters in a small Tennessee town at Christmas. It was filmed right here in Franklin, Tennessee. And yes, your girl, AFD, got myself a little cameo. Listen, when you watch the movie, you have to show up on time because I am in the first 8 seconds of the movie. I cannot wait for you to see it. Today, we're sitting down with 3 of the cast members that you already know and love from movies you watched. Laura Osnes, who plays Beth March, Julia Reilly, who plays Amy March, and Jesse Hutch, who plays John. The movie premieres this Saturday, so 2 days from now, November 23rd at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on Great American Family and PureFlix, pureflix.com. So you're going to want to check your local listings to see if you get Great American Family, or head to pureflix.com and start their 7-day free trial so you're ready to watch on Saturday. Let's all watch together, okay? Invite your friends, put on your comfy clothes, and let's watch this adorable movie together. Again, right when it starts, if you want to see me in it. So here is my conversation. Y'all are going to love it. It is a really special conversation about this movie and about art and about what God is doing right now. Here are my friends from Great American Families, A Little Women's Christmas, Laura Osnes, Julia Reilly, and Jesse Hutch.
That sounds fun.
We'll start this episode now by saying, you don't believe in Santa, Jesse? Is that
Yeah,
how we're going to
let's
start this
there.
Great American Family
dare
Christmas movie episode?
Every parent has to decide at some point how much they're going to lie to their children.
For all the kids listening, we apologize in advance. You guys, welcome to That Sounds Fun.
Hey, thanks, Annie.
This is so fun. Laura, welcome back.
Thank you.
Your second episode. You're getting closer and closer to the Hall of Fun.
Oh,
5 episodes,
Oh, there's
and
a
you're in
hall?
the Hall of Fun.
Is that it? Well,
So
great.
you're
That is my
ticking
life
away
goal.
at it.
That is my life goal.
Please.
How does that work? Sorry? You have to.
When you're on 5 times.
Ah.
So you're 1 down,
I've been on
4 to
once
go.
already.
This
This
our
is
second.
2.
Yes.
Okay, 1.
One.
Okay, we're 1.
There
we go.
It's coming, though. I believe in
Okay.
y'all.
Got to
I
start
believe in
somewhere.
y'all.
Thank you.
Annie.
Okay, 4 people listening voices. Besides me and Jesse, they'll probably sort us out. But will y'all introduce yourselves and say what your role, and we'll let you do that as well, Jesse, what your role is in Little Women's Christmas.
Okay, Laura just pointed to me. I'll go. Hi, everyone. My name is Julia Reilly, and I play Amy March in Little Women's Christmas.
And my name is Laura Osnes, and I play Beth March, who is alive. She's miraculously alive.
We are absolutely talking about this.
Great.
And you, sir?
Jesse Hutch, and I play John. Of course, he does have a last name, Brooks. And, so he's married to one of the little women who are adults. So
Yes.
they're grown little.
John has a lot of challenging acting because he's on an iPad half the movie.
That's right.
Maybe for the whole movie. Who can
We
know?
filmed
aren't gonna
everything
spoil
in
anything.
like 2 hours.
Yeah, did you knocked out? Actually, next line.
Yeah.
Right.
Just keep going. Don't cut.
Here's my question about Little Women's Christmas. By the way, I watched it yesterday. I loved it. As we know, I also have a very important role. I am
Yeah, you do.
I'm the receptionist. I am in the first I was like, I'm the second person after DJ Bob.
Yeah.
I am, and then I'm out of the movie forever. Y'all are not. I would love to know, how are things a yes for you? How did you read? How does this happen? How does the script come to you? So will you each kind of tell me, how did the script come to you and why was this a yes? You start first, Laura.
I will start because I actually was a part of a conversation the beginning of this year, back in like January.
Really? Is that when y'all start talking about Christmas movies? Like
Ish.
as soon as the last one plays, you're going on the next?
This
Even
one was
before.
a little, even before sometimes. Sometimes it's like a month in advance. And this, sometimes it is years. Sometimes you know the script writer and you're a part of the process of trying to get the thing pitched and made or part of it, from the creative side a little bit. I had one of our producers, Jax, kind of put
Jax.
my...
Everyone knows Jax.
Yes.
She's a friend of the show from Bubbly Sesh days.
Exactly.
Yes,
Bubbly
yes.
Sesh, some of you may know. Kind of put my name in the hat and introduced me to Brandon. And this was potentially going to be made in February of this year.
Oh, wow.
And then it kind of got delayed to March, and then the whole thing got delayed till June. And by then, a lot of the cast had changed, but I kind of got to stick along with it. I still was available. And so, very grateful. But the script went through many iterations and renditions to finally become what it was, the thing you saw yesterday and the thing that America will get to see in a few days. And so that's and it takes place in Franklin, and I live in Franklin, and so there was kind of that hometown connection for me too, and I was very, very grateful to get to sleep in my own bed and get to make a movie.
It feels like such a sweet, we'll link back to your first episode, but it feels like you getting to do movies in Franklin feels like such a sweet circle of God going like, I see you, girl. I'll bring you all your dreams right to your door.
That was that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Early on was like to make movies with my friends.
Yes.
And then we got to do that this summer. Thank you for reminding me of that.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty cool.
It's really sweet. Okay, so Julia, why was this a yes for you when you saw do they email you a script? How does this work?
Okay, so I got connected to Brandon Clark and his team. The team at GAF introduced me to them and told them
Because
about
you're
me.
already on another GAF show.
Yes, I work
Yes.
with GAF on County Rescue, and so
Yes.
season 1 came out earlier this year. We just wrapped season 2. Super excited about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they introduced me to Brandon, and he reached out to me, and Brandon didn't know me. I hadn't worked with him before. He was like, "Hey, can you send me a self tape for the role?"
And he's the director. Is that
He's the
title?
director.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And so I'm at the beach in Florida for 4th of July, but I'm like, okay, let's do this tape.
Like this 4th of July?
This past 4th
And
of
they
July.
were filming in August, and you were doing the audition in July?
So I did the self tape, and then
gosh.
I think they finalized everything maybe on the 4th of July or the night before, and then I was in Franklin on July 6th to start
Oh
the
my
movie. So it was so
Days before.
It was so quick, but that's one of the things I love about this industry at the same time. You never know what the next day is going to hold.
I mean, freaking Amy March 2 days before the movie starts. That's incredible. Okay, Jesse, tell us about your getting involved in this movie, because you have a whole different role a little bit here, right?
Yeah, there was a lot of different involvement. I was a partner at Third Coast Film. I already knew Brandon from just friends and business relationships. We also work out at the same gym. So we
bros,
had
right?
conversations about this movie actually when it was possibly going to be somewhere else at a totally different budget level, and it had a different kind of vision. And then, interestingly enough, that started to change. I had a Christmas film actually that I wrote. We were talking about that with GAF, and then ultimately that had like a space. And we agreed that that wasn't the film for that particular space at this time. So we took it out of the space, and then we were like, here's 7 more scripts to fill the space. But then this script popped up, and we heard that GAF was having like a book club about Little Women, and we were like, hey, we have a script that's we don't own it, but Brandon Clark and his team have it, and what do you think? And they basically very quickly were like, yes, let's do that. So that whole conversation changed. There was a possibility of me always playing John, but also I was on another show called Homestead and was possibly not even going to be available. This movie got pushed. Eventually it worked out. On top of that, my daughter auditioned twice. And because I told her, I said, sweetheart, do you want to audition to play my daughter? I think it'd be a great opportunity if you're interested. She said, yeah. She went and learned her lines. She did it. Brandon was like, I have some notes. I was like, great. I gave her the notes. Literally was like, here's the notes.
Yeah.
I wrote them down for her off of a text that Brandon sent me. And I said, here you go. Why don't you go do your work? So she left for like an hour, and she came back. She goes, okay, I'm ready. And I was like, all right. So we retaped it. And she did great. So,
did do great. She was great.
So just because I was one of the producers, I was like, look, sweetie, I don't want you to just, you're not getting this role just because of me. Like you got to work for it. There's other little girls auditioning and you got to crush it. So,
yeah, she did.
And you may get it, you may not.
Yeah.
And thankfully it worked out. I mean, it also helps she looks like me. And I thought, well, that's just good casting.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
At some point, I think one of the emails I saw, because no one really put it all together yet, and they were like, well, she does look like Jesse, so maybe that would be a good casting choice. And I remember literally responding going, she is my daughter.
Yeah. She is literally 50% me. So that is mathematically true. This is wild to hear how the process goes, and it's so different because in all of our own ways, all of our friends listening have things going on in their lives, and all the moments have to happen perfectly for the thing to work out.
Yeah.
And you just think like, oh, a movie gets written and then you think it's a straight line. And y'all are all saying nothing is a straight line in this industry.
Ever.
And none of it is one person. Like even what I just shared, very small window. Like it still took everybody. You know, Brandon and Brian Bird and Brian Williams and all the Third Coast team and all True Brand and then GAF, everybody over there. Like there's so many cooks in the kitchen, as they say.
Yeah.
If anybody ever in this industry goes, it was because of me, you're like, you should immediately be like, I'm skeptical because Lord didn't make it to work like that. If you get to the top and you're the only one there, you didn't do it right.
When I was as a receptionist typing on a computer, they just had a laptop there for me. So I was just pretending, right? And afterwards, Brandon's like, do you know whose computer you were holding? Brian Bird's. Everything from When Calls the Heart is on that computer. I was like, what? I was like, hey, you should not have trusted me with that. B, give me the password. Like, let me see what is in this computer. Totally. All of When Calls the Heart. Okay, so Laura, I do want you to talk about Beth for a minute because everyone thinks Beth dies because she does.
Right.
So for starters, when a movie is written off of a book like this, it doesn't have to be just the same. It's okay to switch it up a little bit.
I think there's some creative license, obviously, that's taken. And I think the entity is so beloved and well-known that they wanted to be able to embrace the four sisters, the family and faith values of this family. And I guess Dion, who our scriptwriter, didn't, I think... because it's a Christmas movie, they were like, well, she's just around again, even though it's a contemporary retelling of the beloved tale. But essentially, in my mind, it kind of takes place like 5 to 10 years after where the book leaves us.
Yeah, certainly.
So we just pretend that Beth never died because it's Christmas, and we love this family.
She will eventually die, but she did not in this film.
That's
which
it.
I appreciate.
And her story was left untold, and we got to tell it.
That's right. Jesse, speaking of, Laura said it. This movie is very faith forward. I mean, the first 36 minutes, there are 4 mentions of something Christian between the parents, where the parents are, and a pastor comes in the coffee shop.
Right.
Will you talk a little bit about, like, why is that? Why is this so faith forward?
Well, I think the people involved are very faith forward, to be honest. So if you go back to Dion, the writer, you go to the team, you go to a lot of the people that were hired, you go to GAF, you start looking, I mean, even if you're a data person, you want to start looking at data. I mean, movies that have faith in them are starting to do very well. And I think it's, you can't always say the data is right, but you can't always say it's wrong either. But I think that people ultimately want hope. And I think in this genre and space too, people also, I think everybody wants hope. Everybody wants to find a way through whatever they're living, whatever they're dealing with, you know, whether you're on the hilltop or the valley. So I think it's just a side effect of everyone involved, and it's got to start somewhere. But when someone starts writing, they'll put it in, and then all of a sudden you get a director that cares about faith. Well, they start putting, you get actors that come to the table that have faith. They start putting something in. So eventually we're all kind of moving down this river that turns out a lot of us really appreciate faith in God, and we love trying to bring hope to the table.
Yeah.
And you have your little piece that you want to fight for. You know what I mean? When these ladies are hired, they're hired to come in and specifically care about their character to the point where they're going to, maybe they push back, maybe they agree, maybe they want to inject something into it. You know, there's a reason that everybody's there, from the director to the DP to the AD. Everybody has, and I just found on our team it was very faith driven.
Yeah.
And of course, Great American Family is leaning into that. They really want more of that. I just had a discussion with some of their team last night and was like, what do you guys think you want next year? And they were very much like, faith is A-okay by us, and push into it, and it doesn't have to be the typical story anymore.
Yeah.
Like, so
It's really amazing.
I think they've created like a whole community, both an audience and of actors and crew that value that and want
Yeah.
to put content out into the world that provides hope and brings joy and emphasizes family values.
Yeah. Besides your early Santa Claus comment, this is very faith friendly and family friendly. So you aren't leaving the kids out. So there was a huge cast in this movie. Will y'all talk about the difference of how this? I mean, we'll start with you, Jesse. Your other Christmas movie that just came out is you and a female. That's how most of these go. There are 97 of y'all in this one. and all the storylines are actually really easy to follow. It's very surprising.
Yes.
As I watched it, I thought, wait, I get where everybody is. Tell me about the difference it feels like being in a cast this size versus your normal Christmas movie size.
yeah, that changes a lot of logistics, especially on the filmmaking end of things. I mean, when you think, hey, you get into the logistics of, all right, we have one female lead. We bring her in an hour and a half early so we can get her hair done and get everything finished. And now you're thinking 4 of now
Right.
there's 4. Okay, is that 4 hours early? How many staff do we need? Okay, it was it's just, I mean, that's just a little, glimpse of what
Yeah.
it's like. But then also, I think for ADs, having to chase
What does
around
that mean? What's
actors,
an AD?
an assistant director. So
Got
there's
it.
someone on set whose job literally is to watch the clock, make sure we're on schedule, keep us time. There's another AD that literally just like goes and brings everyone to set. That's probably one of the hardest jobs because actors are like cats. They just they're off to crafty, they're off to go to the restroom, they're off to
Right.
talk over here.
They're not ready yet or whatever.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
So I noticed that on our set. It was like
Yeah.
everybody's everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, can we just bring everybody in, please? It's like, and you can see Brandon is like, oh my goodness, I have 18 people in this scene. Just sit out.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
We're all at Crafty looking for gummies.
Completely.
We loved gummy and sour candy on that
Yeah.
set.
Yes.
and yet that being said, it's also very, it's like a beautiful thing because
Yeah.
it builds such a community immediately.
Yeah.
It changes the scene dynamics 100% because now it's not just 2 people like playing ping pong.
Right.
Now this is like an entire, sports team.
Yeah.
Like everybody's got to ping pong now and find their marks and catch their light and not step on anybody's lines. And so it's fun. I mean, I like it as a performer. I think it's cool. It ups the ante.
Yeah.
And it's fun because you get to see so many friends every day.
Yes.
So I don't know. That's my 2 cents
Yeah.
on it.
Julia, you came in 2 days after you auditioned
Yeah.
into this massive cast.
Yes.
And you are one of the youngest people in the cast. So will you talk a little about what was your experience stepping into this and in an abnormal Christmas movie vibe where you have 3 sisters immediately?
Sure. I was so excited to be a part of this movie. I mean, I've known the story of Little Women for forever, and I mean, these guys have been doing this for forever, and they're such pros and so amazing, and I felt like they really just took me in and let me feel like part of the family immediately, and I'm so grateful for that. And coming off of County Rescue is also an ensemble cast, so I've been very heavily in the ensemble cast space right now, but I love it because you show up and you see your family of friends every day at work, and it doesn't feel like work, and it's been the best experience.
So you're the one here at the table who doesn't live here full time.
I don't. I live in Atlanta.
Yes. So go Dogs.
Go Dogs!
live
We
in
bonded over
Georgia.
this. Yes.
Yeah. Before y'all got here, we went deep in Athens life. It was great.
It was amazing.
So give us some behind the scenes movie magic. Where do you stay? Do you stay at a hotel the whole time you're here?
yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
I loved it. It was
Were
great.
y'all at the Harpeth the whole time? Mm-hmm. Oh, that ain't bad.
No,
That is good.
it was so
That's a good
awesome.
life.
Yeah, and so Jillian and Jen and I think several others were at the Harpeth,
Yeah.
and when we were all called at the same time, we rode to set together, rode back, and so it was really special and bonding, and I loved it.
I actually feel like I missed out on some of the bonding because I lived here and I drove my
Right.
own
You'd be
car.
like,
and
I'm
I was
gonna
like,
go home. Yeah, exactly.
I know. Well, you're in the Harpeth? I've never stayed in the Harpeth.
Yeah, I know. I could have stayed in the Harpeth.
Exactly.
Right.
I would walk down in the lobby, and Jesse would like always be at the Harpeth. I'm like, Jesse.
You didn't want to miss the hang, Jesse.
Yeah, a lot of the production meetings were there, and then we would just be in town all the time, and you just show up. And
Yeah.
a lot of people like to meet at the Harpeth, so I would have a
Yeah.
meeting totally not related to the film, and then you just end up around
There's
everybody
always
anyway. You're like,
meetings.
oh, everybody's
Yeah.
there.
Well, I would walk down, and there would be meetings going on in the lobby. I'm like, hey guys. They're like, hey. I'm like, what's going on? They're like, oh, we're in a meeting. I'm like, oh, wait, I'm so sorry.
Sorry, just get coffee.
Exactly.
How far do you live? You live in town though, right?
Yeah, at that time we're almost neighbors with Laura.
5
we're
minutes
kind of
apart.
out in the same community.
Oh, that's fun.
Now, on a personal note, we're actually in Gallatin now. So we're
okay.
renting a farmhouse and kind of just enjoying 30
Homestead
acres
stuff.
out in the middle of nowhere
I
right
see
now.
what you're doing. I see what you're
We're
doing.
just testing it out,
Yeah.
seeing how it feels.
I mean, Laura, a huge character in this movie is Franklin.
For
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, it is just like over and over. Even going to the our friend Nancy works
Yes,
at
at
a store-
Philanthropy.
At Philanthropy, and like the little chapel in Philanthropy is in the movie.
Oh, it's so good.
Exactly.
It's so good. And it's you. It's such a sweet scene, right? Aren't you the one in there? No.
No, it's Joe with Lori.
Oh,
with
it's,
your
sorry.
But
Lori,
it's so
that's right.
cute. I didn't
I
see
know.
that scene, obviously,
Cute.
before the movie.
I know because we weren't in it.
Yeah.
Franklin is the cutest town.
It is so charming, and any Tennessean and Franklinite will be just so delighted to
Yeah.
see the Franklin Theater in the background. We filmed at Onyx and Alabaster. We're outside at the Circle. You see the tree and the tree
Yeah.
lighting. Footage that Brandon actually got the Christmas before
He told
in
me all this,
anticipation
and
of the
that
movie.
blew my mind. He showed me. He was like, "Oh, once it snowed, I sent a drone.
Yep.
Yeah.
In hopes of getting to do this movie." I thought that is what a brilliant.
It's
Which
movie.
was
bold.
massively
Yeah.
helpful, actually, because
Yeah, it
we
was.
were getting notes that, well, it's not going to feel Christmassy enough. And so they were able to put together some footage and send it. And people were like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
go ahead.
yeah, you can do that.
Exactly.
So, nice move.
That sounds fun.
Hey, friends, just interrupting this conversation. Tell you about one of our incredible partners, Ritual. Okay, crazy fact. Did you know women were excluded from clinical research policy by federal law until 1993? What? We belong in scientific research. We're essential, right? Ritual knows, and they conducted a university-led human clinical trial for their Essential for Women 18 Plus multivitamin to assess how effective it is. The results, it increased vitamin D levels by 43% and omega-3 DHA levels by 41% in just 12 weeks. Y'all know I love data, and these stats back up why I love the multivitamin so much. Their Essential for Women 18 Plus multivitamin also has high quality, traceable key ingredients in clean, bioavailable form. So, you're getting exactly what's listed on the bottle. You just take 2 capsules a day, which have 9 key nutrients, and the capsules feature a delayed release designed to dissolve later, which helps make it gentle on an empty stomach. And I love the minty taste. No one likes taking vitamins with a bad aftertaste, but the minty essence in every bottle keeps things fresh and helps make taking your vitamins every day actually enjoyable. Plus, Ritual multivitamins are vegan, non-GMO, gluten and major allergen free, and they're a female-founded B Corp, meaning they are holding themselves accountable to not just their company's financial health, but also the health of people and our planet. No more shady business. Ritual's Essential for Women 18 Plus is a multivitamin you can actually trust. Get 25% off your first month at ritual.com/thatsoundsfun. Start Ritual or add Essentials for Women 18 Plus to your subscription today. That's ritual.com/thatsoundsfun for 25% off. And remember, that link and pretty much every other link you could ever hope for are in the show notes below, or we'll send them to you every Friday in the AFD Week in Review email. We hope it's the best email of your week. And you can sign up to get that below as well. And I have another incredible partner I get to tell you about, Our Place. As you're getting everything ready for your Thanksgiving meals, consider what you're using to cook with. It was a long time before I realized that so much of the cookware out there has forever chemicals in them, and I don't want the Thanksgiving turkey to include a side of forever chemicals. No, thank you. I prefer a side of cranberry sauce and squash. This is why we love Our Place around here. They have non-toxic cookware and appliances that give us some peace of mind about what we're cooking with. Our Place's products are made without Teflon, so you know those forever chemicals aren't making it into your food. Plus, if you've never seen their products, I need you to go look right now because they're so cute and come in so many fun colors to choose from. This would make a great Christmas present if you know someone who needs some new cookware. Go to FromOurPlace.com and enter our code TSF, like that sounds fun, at checkout to get 10% off site-wide. That's FromOurPlace.com and the code is TSF. Our Place also offers a 100-day trial with free shipping and returns. Okay, now back to our conversation with Laura, Jesse, and Julia.
That sounds fun.
What does that do for a town? Like, tell me, What happens for a town like Franklin when they get to be the center of a Christmas movie?
Well, you think of all the movies filmed in New York, and people
Yeah.
go and they're like, "Oh, I saw that in a movie. I've been there. I've seen that." And to be like, our little town is featured in a movie. I mean, a few movies have been shot in Franklin, but I think hopefully I don't know if it will bring people here necessarily, but I think putting Franklin on the map in that way, and then people when they walk down Main Street can be like, "Oh, I saw Franklin Theater in the movie," or "I'm going to go to Stable Reserve because it's mentioned in Little Women's Christmas."
Yeah.
And I mean, if that can help our small towns and our businesses and our locals, like, I'm all for it.
And it really did show what Franklin looks like at Christmas.
For sure.
Which is like, why would you not hurry here?
I know.
To see Franklin at Christmas.
I mean,
It's
when I moved here, I was
adorable.
like, this is a Hallmark town. Like, everything needs to film here.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
I need to visit at Christmas after seeing the movie, and everyone talks about the tree lighting. I was like, that is so awesome.
It is.
It
It's
is
really
magical.
It is. But and the Dickens weekend, the Dickens
Yeah.
Christmas weekend is so cute.
Which it's all very close. When's the tree lighting? Isn't that
It's usually the
that's
first
soon.
weekend of December.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's soon.
Yeah.
That's like-
So after they watch the movie, everybody can just drive on over.
Yes,
Yeah.
come
So
and
wherever
visit
you are, just
Franklin.
come on to Franklin. Okay, so Jesse, you mentioned that the people were worried that the movie wouldn't look Christmassy enough because y'all filmed in August. Everyone is wearing long sleeves and coats. Were y'all just about to pass out?
Yeah, God bless you all. Like I said, my scenes were, filmed in a matter of hours in one office
'cause you were
space
at
on
war.
an iPad.
You were at war.
Yeah, my character's serving overseas, so
Yes,
he's
yes.
he's on a Zoom call.
Yeah.
But yes, these ladies are just, hey, could you put that layer on and add this coat and add this scarf?
Were y'all
and,
just sweating the whole time?
yeah.
You somehow, they have fans for us, and you somehow kind of just, your body temperature just lifts and raises, and you just kind of get used to just feeling generally hot and warm.
Yeah.
Because even inside, they have to turn off the air conditioning for sound usually, but there are various rooms where you can usually go away and find respite. And fortunately, I was only outside one of the days.
Yeah, me too.
And it was
for our
very hot that
sister shopping scene.
Exactly.
But then watching it back, I mean, Jillian and Trevor were out there a lot.
Yeah, they were outside
They
a
had,
lot.
I think they had the brunt of.
They had a lot of walking outside with coats. I was like, God love them. That is
Yep.
so. They are burning up.
Because Tennessee is hot in the summer.
Tennessee
For those
in
of you who have not
August
been
in
here,
the
it is hot.
daytime.
Oh, my.
Jillian told me a story because we were had our makeup done at the same time.
Yes.
About how they were overnight. They were doing shoots overnight, like all night long, and she was still in coats and still hot. Did y'all have to do the overnight stuff too? The all night long business?
only-
We
Well,
did
that,
one.
that was the church stuff.
Yeah,
probably.
the Christmas Eve service was a night shoot overnight.
Oh, yeah, it went a while.
That is insane.
Yeah.
People sleeping in pews and. Hey,
Oh yeah, Jen.
Hey,
Even
you're
like
in.
the extras,
What?
like
Oh yeah.
the extras have to be there overnight.
Yeah, I mean
Now,
everybody.
I think
yeah.
they were released at 4 a.m.
Oh my gosh!
I think they might have had a couple different rotations. Like some of them were there for this chunk of time, and
Yep.
then
Mm-hmm.
some of them came at a later chunk of time. But yeah, it was.
And y'all just off to be there. Is it? And this sounds like a dumb question, but I just don't know very much, so therefore dumb. You have to do that because you need all the darkness. You just have to use all the darkness when you can get the darkness. That's why you have to shoot all night long.
Yeah, that was just the scheduling for that particular scene. We had that church for one day. It had to be done. So you shoot your daylight scenes, and then we had to move into the night. And the way Brandon especially had it set up was, well, we'll film this way and get all the musical acts done, and then we flip the camera. So yeah, that's why we rotated background. We had a lot of people show up and just really, like, speaking of Franklin community, we had so many friends and families that just brought out their kids. They came out and supported, wanted to be a part of it, and so that was pretty cool too. I mean, we had so many people just show up
And it's Gladys
and
night.
hang out all
It's
night.
Gladys night.
It's
Hello.
Gladys
Yeah.
night singing. I mean, what were y'all are sitting in the pews being like, are we seriously watching this?
Yeah, it was really cool. And she wrote that original song. Like, she also helped write it and perform it. It was pretty wonderful.
I was so teary-eyed. I had someone help me sneak in during one of the shots of her because I wanted to watch her. This is funny, but I grew up going to her restaurant in Atlanta. She used to have a chicken and waffles
Yes, she
restaurant.
did, right downtown.
And so that was always a special
know.
treat as a kid. My dad would
Yes.
take my brother and I downtown, and we would go there. And it was
Like on the way to a Falcons game or something? Or
No, that would be the
for chicken-
event.
that was the event.
That
Chicken and
was the
waffles.
No, and so that was such a core memory of mine. And so I told people, I'm like, this is insane, like Gladys Knight. And they're like, but you know her music too, right? I'm like, yes, but I really, at
But it's
my
the
core,
waffles.
it's the chicken and waffle restaurant. No, but she's so talented. That was so surreal to
So were
watch
y'all
that.
really sitting in the room when she's
special.
performing?
personally, like
Yeah.
I wasn't, because the
Yeah.
camera's facing them, so it's all their footage. So they had some
Got
extras, but we
it.
weren't required to be there. And I worked my way in. I was like, I'll come stand in the back because I want to even get a Instagram video.
Yeah.
of her
I just want to
recording
see
this.
Gladys Knight in the same movie as us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you just don't know. I mean, props to Brandon and the team, because when you're watching it, you're like, oh, wow, they're all getting to sit in there and hear this. I wonder how, I kept thinking last night, how many times did they film this that they got to sit there and watch?
Right. There
Movie
was a
magic.
time they did flip the camera on us, and they still had them there, but they weren't obviously living as much. But we did get, I think, two takes of getting to kind of watch them do the stuff where the camera was on us.
Tell me about the scenes with the sisters, because the sister relationship is like, I know, it's really, for 4 women who are not related, y'all did a very nice job making us believe that you really liked each other.
Because we do.
Yeah.
We really do.
Tell me what was going on outside of the moments y'all were shooting that led to us believing and seeing what a genuine friendship between the 4 of you.
I think it was such a blessing to have these incredible women. And as we alluded to earlier, each of them leading ladies in their own right. So I think it was just humbling to come in and be like, hey, we get to do this all together.
Yeah.
And it was just a really beautiful thing to know that all of our hearts wanted that. And we started a text thread almost immediately, and we're just messaging. We still message all the time. All the time. And it just was really such a beautiful collaborative effort. All of us are so different too, and bring uniquely different things, that it was never a competition. It was always a collaboration. And we would laugh with each other, cry with each other, vent to each other, celebrate with each other. And it was very immediate. The first scene we filmed was when Jo walks in the front door and all the sisters get to come and hug her and welcome her. That was scene 1.
Home from New York.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we really kind of got to meet each other on set as Jo was returning home.
Wow. Yeah.
And it just was it was an immediate bond for sure.
Absolutely. There's something so special and unique about working on set with people, because you're spending basically all your hours together for however many weeks you're shooting, and then for all of us to instantly connect and click like we did was such a blessing, and I love them so much.
Yeah. I know.
They're the sweetest.
How long were you here? How long does it take to film a movie? Like this movie?
3
I
weeks.
guess it's-
3 weeks? It's usually like 14 days. Did we have 14 days? 15 days?
Yeah.
I was only on set. I think I had 9 days on set of the 15 days.
Oh, wow.
And you were 4 or 5? How many days? I mean, you were there every day because you're producing.
Yeah.
And Charlize was there.
Yeah. My acting portion was easy and easy to handle. It was, but yeah, being there as a support for everybody else. And
Tell me the difference between a producer and a director. Sorry, I don't know that. If you're a producer and you were there every day.
yeah, I mean, director's main vision is literally what you see on screen.
Okay.
From the wardrobe,
Brandon makes the movie.
From the wardrobe to the. I mean, there's an entire team behind you, of course, as a director, and you have to really lean on each other and put people in place, all your heads, your keys. I mean, Brandon's dad is our DP. He's been around forever. He's, just old school, awesome, knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But everything is, how do you move the camera? How do you talk to your actors? How do you dress them? How do you light the thing? What's the final edit? What's the flow, the feel, the tone? So yeah, director oversees that. Producers, there's a lot of different producers. I mean, you got producers who just handle the money and they're not even
that's
here.
right.
You got producers who literally just do paperwork. I did a lot of paperwork behind the scenes. It's really fun.
Right in your skill set. Well done.
that
That's impressive. That is impressive.
Not one of my skill sets. I'm learning.
Yeah.
And then there's you'd have Brian on set who's just sitting, listening, watching, overseeing sort of the writing and the flow of it and the feel of it. And so there's a lot of different angles to everybody's job. It takes an entire brigade and family.
It blew my mind how many people were in the little coffee shop upstairs. I mean, there was maybe, for the one scene I was there for, 15 extras and then 40 people.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, amazing. All these people get jobs doing this. Is their job.
I know.
And they have this job for 3 weeks and then.
Yeah.
Well, you think about the credits of a movie.
Yeah.
Right? You think of like the hundreds, sometimes thousands of names. Think of like a Marvel movie. Someone with, like all of the people, the like special effects and the wardrobe and the everybody stand-ins and doubles and stunt people and designers. And it's a miracle that any movie ever gets made. So to get to be a part of even one, and now you've gotten to say that you've done that. Like it's a miracle. It's really cool to be a part of something like that.
It's the process is just the fact y'all been talking about this movie like you saw multiple set rounds of the script since last January.
Right.
And now we'll all get to watch it this weekend, like finished, like all the way done.
Yes.
That is,
Yeah,
that
which is
wild.
fast. These movies are generally fast. Like
Christmas movies in
Yeah, there
general.
was a time when it was like, I mean, as an actor too, you're like, can I get footage from that? You'd have to wait a year just for it to even, reach a screen.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, you get a call 2 days before. You can get a call the night before.
Yeah.
And now you're doing a movie and they turn it around and the edit's done and
Yeah.
it's on the screens 3 months later. I mean, 2 months later.
A little bit more of that immediate gratification.
I mean, I'll also say being local, we love to work where we live. And I think there's a lot of us here that are, Laura can attest to this as well. Her husband Nate's also into this.
Yes.
We're all having conversations with a lot of people about doing projects here. And one of the biggest things, of course, and I don't want to go too far down the rabbit trail,
Go.
but if there's anybody listening to this that can help make a difference on sort of a government level and have real conversations about tax credits and incentives and how to really be a community that, yes, protects values, but can really take responsibility and leadership for what we export. Because I think there's a lot of fantastic people here that want to
Yes.
export
Yes.
films that
Yes.
have great messages.
Yes.
And we're all advocates for our community and the people that live
Yeah.
here. And of course, let's bring in others. But we need help on all the different levels to achieve that. And I know people way smarter than I am that are having these conversations. They're in the room, they're having meetings. But I would love to just say, hey, if anybody has some inkling in your heart where you're like, I might know how to do that. I think Nashville can really kick butt in the film industry.
Yeah.
We've already been doing it in music. I think we can do it further into other aspects of media, such as film. And I
Yeah.
would just love to encourage people to all help each other do this, because we can be making more movies here. And like I said, I think let's look at it as an export, not so much of a
right.
protection of what we already have.
That's really good.
Because what we have is beautiful and it's special and it's important, but let's export it to the rest of the world so
Yes.
that they can be changed by it as well. And a big help would be on the business side.
Yeah.
Preach.
I mean, that's the third coast idea, right? Is that LA, New York, Nashville. Can we be
Yeah,
this
that's
other
why
exporting
people
place?
use that name. It's
Yes.
like, let's rock it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. I think it's real. You and I, Laura and I have talked about this in real life a couple of times, because what we saw about 10 years ago was authors move here. And you start being like, we were only music. And now we're a bunch of people writing, but so it's exporters.
Yeah.
It's people
Yes.
who export culture and art. And so not only is it people who are very good at their craft, it's very often faith people who have found a community, and now we're exporting in ways that LA and New York are not.
Yeah.
And I think it is. It is like, I'm watching. I'm fascinated
Well,
by
what's
it.
too.
interesting, right, is why are, like, God led me here. I'm not going to lie.
Same.
My wife and
Same.
I literally put our 3 kids in the truck and drove for 2 months and 2 weeks, not knowing where we were going to live and
Wow.
praying and driving. And we drove
Wow.
from Vancouver, BC, Canada, all the way to Florida. And when we drove through Franklin, God literally, on both of us, just peace, like stop. Our stuff's still in Canada in a storage locker. It's been over 3 years. I don't have it yet. Why are we here? I'm still learning that, but I believe a part of it is these people I've met and the community
Yes.
we're building and the movies we're starting to make. But God's bringing a lot of people here that make film and television. And so I'm like, all right, let's figure that out. Why are we here? And I think we didn't move here because we're like, oh, hey, there's other actors moving there. We should move there
Right.
because we're going
Right.
to. I think we all moved here because we're like, well, where do we want to live? If we want to have kids one day, or we already have kids, or maybe we want to get married, or whatever your situation is, people are thinking about where they want to live.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, there's an awesome community here. Like,
Yeah.
people want to hear your heart.
Yeah.
And they don't always want to trample it. And they don't always want to just push you down to get to the top. There's so many people here that are literally like, you got to meet so-and-so. And
All
you're
the
like,
time.
All the time.
All the time.
you're like, why'd you just introduce me to that person and
Yes.
expect nothing in return?
Yes.
Like, you going to hit me? I don't understand.
Right.
Yeah.
And they don't. And they just smile and wave and let you be introduced. And you're like, whoa, this is really cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's how we impact culture, is getting the people who are creating the things, not who are like making it, but actually the creators of the content,
yeah.
of the stories that are being told, of the movies or the books or the songs that are being made, have a heart behind it that is special to this area and this state and this.
Yeah.
We need to share that with the world.
It's really interesting. Because
exciting.
the thing that we keep hearing that you and I have said before is when you say, why'd you move here? People go, I don't know. And you're like, okay, God brought you. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Then we'll just wait and see because God brought you
Completely.
here.
Yeah.
And it just keeps happening. I would have never guessed a decade ago that we would be an exporter of film.
Nope.
That's just so outside Atlanta, though. I mean, like, there's so much going on in Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, yes, there is, but there's something so special and unique about the community here. And the majority of the work I've done in the past year and a half has all brought me to Tennessee.
Yeah. You better pay attention, girl.
Exactly.
You better pay
I
attention.
don't think that's an accident. I'm just saying.
Is somebody moving? I mean, I'm not saying.
Yeah. We're not the Lord, but you should listen.
Look, wherever he leads me,
That's it.
believe me. But it's every time I meet someone on set too, like we have a mutual friend from Nashville or the Franklin area, and everyone knows someone, and it's so unique because Atlanta's obviously not as big as New York and LA, but I think you can still at times feel like there's so many people you don't know anyone.
Yeah.
But there's something so unique here, and like the family aspect and like the love and support that the community of people here has is so rare and so special.
Yeah, I feel like Laura knows this, but I've watched her from when she moved here build her community here. And it has just been like watching miracle after miracle. And it feels like this is a community of artists who are like, we don't have to see each other every week, but we're one call. It's a one call. Oh, yeah, I just need to call them. And it is. And they'll get involved.
Yeah.
How does that help you make better art to be in a community like this?
Honestly, it's incredible. It makes all the difference. And we've talked so much about like, you know, just waiting to have someone give you a job and be a part of the system as opposed to feeling like we're
Let it
creating
go.
a
Right.
system with our
Right.
fellow Avengers and soldiers who are called to do the same thing.
That's
And I'm
it.
like, there's something really rewarding about that. It's not easy. You know, it's not going to be built in a day, but I wake up every morning excited that it's bubbling and like we get to be at the ground floor of what Nashville and entertainment and potentially film here will be with our friends who have a similar mind and heart.
Jesse, I've seen on your socials you like writing a movie. I'm assuming movie, and then you have people over to your house to read it.
Yeah, well, I mean, Laura and Nate actually literally just had me to their house on Sunday.
We had a reading 2 days ago.
And I didn't know anybody there except for them, and met all these new great people.
Yeah.
And was just, you know, we used to be neighbors, but it's funny because we actually run into each other around town so often.
Yeah.
That it's almost flipped. Like there was a time when you had to invite your neighbor over to be neighbors, but now with the community here, it's almost reversed. Like we almost don't need to invite each other over for dinner because we're literally running
Yeah, just
working
like
together.
do
into
your
each
life,
other
and there you are.
every second day. Like
Yeah.
I'm going to have a coffee
Interesting.
over here, and I see Laura in the coffee shop. You know, I run into Nate at a men's Bible study. I mean, you live in Georgia, and I've seen you.
Right, more the last 2 weeks.
And now I'm going to see you in New York. It's like,
I've seen y'all more than like my friends in Georgia.
yeah. I mean, it's you can't really explain it. You just are a part of it, and then you realize that you have to rejig your mindset, I think, because I moved from the West Coast, and it's just there's a different vibe, a different mentality and approach to things. I had to learn how to slow down a bit here. You know, I had to learn how to just be like, okay, don't rush it, don't push it, don't even bring it up. Just go to the barbecue and enjoy it and hang out. See what happens from there.
Interesting.
That's how people connect here.
It does feel like it's relationship first,
Relationship first.
art and project and work
That's right.
second.
Wouldn't it be fun to work together is the thing versus I
That
want to
sounds
know you.
fun.
That's
That's exactly right. I mean, friendship comes first, and then you go,
yes.
I bet we'll figure out a way to get to work together.
Yeah.
And that tends to be true.
That sounds fun.
Hey, friends, just interrupting this conversation one more time to tell you about one of our incredible partners and one of my favorites, Storyworth. Okay, this is one of my favorite gift ideas for your parents. So listen up. Do you know about Storyworth? Our family has done it, and it is such a gift. Here's how it works. Every week, Storyworth emails your loved one a thought-provoking question that you can help pick if you want to. Things like, what's the bravest thing you've ever done? Or what's the farthest you've ever traveled? Or how did you used to get to school every day? All your loved ones need to do is respond to that email with a story. Long or short, it doesn't matter. And after the year, Storyworth compiles their stories, and then you can add photos, and it becomes this beautiful keepsake hardcover book that you'll be able to share and revisit for generations to come. It is so cool. So I gave this to my parents last Christmas, and it has been so meaningful to now work through the book, adding pictures, getting ready to print it out and gift it at Christmas to all my cousins. I hope they aren't listening. But we have all these great stories documented for my family for years to come. With Storyworth, you're giving your family a thoughtful, super personal gift and preserving their memories and stories forever. Go to storyworth.com/thatsoundsfun and you'll save $10 on your first purchase. That's storyworth.com/thatsoundsfun to save $10 on your first purchase. And another incredible partner I get to tell you about, Hiya Health. Listen, parents, I know it's close to impossible to get kids to take their vitamins. I've seen your struggle when I FaceTime with my sister and my nephew. But our friends at Hiya Health are here to help. Hiya Health has created the pediatrician-approved chewable vitamin that is made with zero sugar and zero gummy junk. And a lot of my mini BFFs love them. Hiya is designed for kids 2 and up, sent straight to your door so you have one less thing to worry about. The glass bottles they come in are super cute, but even better, they are reusable and your kids get to decorate them with stickers. And currently their bottles are also available in Barbie pink, which is adorable, and comes with a limited edition Barbie unboxing experience that includes a Barbie bottle and Barbie stickers. We worked out a special deal with Hiya for their best-selling children's vitamin. Get 50% off your first order. To claim this deal that is just for my friends, you must go to hiyahealth.com/thatsoundsfun. Again, that's hiyahealth.com/thatsoundsfun and get your kids the full body nourishment that they need to grow into healthy adults.